Hey everyone, it's XP here. So recently, the new measures to contain the coronavirus outbreak requires all non-essential services to shut down. That includes my drum school, where I've been teaching at. But thankfully, all of us educators have already been moving on to online teaching at the school's premises, but this time we'll have to do so from home. The good thing, though, is that I have quite an extensive home setup, which I'll be using to conduct online lessons through Zoom. I've been tweaking with this setup quite a bit to get better sound and also to get better integration with the Zoom online client. And I thought this would be useful to share with those who are interested and with those who are willing to invest a bit more to get better sound. Before I begin though, I just want to mention that my drum school has already put up a lot of useful content online on how to set up for online drum lessons, which I will link to in the video and in the description. But for this lesson, I will focus on how we can combine the sounds from our electronic kit with our voice into an audio interface and into our computer and to Zoom. If there's enough interest, I'll also consider making a separate video where we can use our electric drum as a sample trigger. So for example, triggering software through MIDI notes to get even better sound. So let's get started.
Alright, so the first thing you want to do is to go to your audio settings on your Zoom client and to go to advanced settings. You want to disable both the persistent and intermittent background noise because these are your drum sounds, and to enable original sound for your microphone. So this allows you to turn on original sound for any of your audio inputs. There are three ways to route audio to your computer that I will show you today. The first is to simply use the built-in microphone on your device. The second is to toggle between your drum and voice in the Zoom client. And the third is to combine your drum and voice before sending it over to the computer. The most basic way to hear both your voice and drum sounds is to use the built-in microphone of the device you use for Zoom. This can be a computer, a tablet, or even a phone. But for the other party to hear you, you need monitor speakers. So what you need to do is to go to your drum module, so in my case it's the Roland TD17, and look for the master outputs. So you will need cables, and if you are using stereo speakers, you have to use two cables, right and left, and these are 1/4 inch cables. If you only have a single speaker, you only need to connect one cable, so a mono output. For the other end of your output cable, how you connect it would depend on the type of monitor speakers you have. Most monitor speakers accept 1/4 inch cables, and some also accept male XLR cables. Notice that your built-in microphone picks up all the sounds happening in the room. Your drums will be heard through these monitor speakers, which will be picked up by the built-in microphone. The second method would give us better sound quality for the drums, and we do this by channeling the drums directly to the computer. Now, many drum modules today interface with the computer using a Type A to Type B USB cable. So this is a Type A USB head, and this is a Type B square port USB head. This also happens to be the type of USB cable used for printers today. For my drum module, the square port goes in here, and the USB-A head needs to be converted to USB-C to connect to my Mac, in my case. Do ensure that you have downloaded and installed the required software driver for your drum module. This most likely can be found on the manufacturer's website. After you have installed this, you should be able to detect your drum module in your computer settings go to the sound settings and select your drum module as the input and the output source. With those settings, all the sounds from your computer will be available from your drum module. So you want to monitor that by plugging in your headphone jack. For some drum modules, you may need to attach a 1/4 inch adapter over your 3.5 mm jack for monitoring purposes.
This is a demo of sound quality for method 2. Right now you're hearing my voice through the built-in microphone in my device. The input source is shown here, the built-in microphone, and the output source is my drum module. So I'll be able to hear all the sounds from my computer and from the drums as well. So during the lesson, I may want to switch to playing the drums. So what I'll need to do to get a good drum sound is to change the input source to my drum module. Here's a quick tip. If you want to get better voice quality, you can always buy one of these cheap microphones, clip-on microphones, and plug it into your computer. And now instead of using the built-in microphone,
use the external microphone as the input source when you're talking, and switch to the drum module when you're playing. Another bonus tip if you want to share music, some drum modules have a mix-in or audio input that allows you to play to music from your phone or play to a click app on your phone. So this can be done. Another way which you might like to explore is the share screen option. So if you have Spotify or some other music player running in, as a separate app, if you tick this option, share computer sound, you can also play to music. I'm not sure about copyright issues, but this is something you may want to explore. And finally, there's also another option to play to the click within your drum module if it has that function. So let me show that to you now. The last method gives you better sound quality for both the drums and your voice without having to toggle the two. This is because we mix it all within the audio interface before we send it to the computer using the same USB cable. In this case, this is a Roland SPDSX sampling pad, which is more than just an audio interface, but it does a similar job. There are some mixers out there that also have a USB output and can act as an audio interface as well. This time, from the drum module, instead of sending the outputs to the monitor speakers, I send them into my audio interface. The only problem with my audio interface is that it only has 2 audio in channels. So it will be good to find an audio interface that gives you at least 3 input channels. So because of that, I only take a single input, a mono input from my drum module, and put it into my audio interface. And the other one right here is for my microphone. So I put this into the other side. It's not optimal, but it's because I'm limited by the number of channels on my audio interface. Similar to method 2, you would take the output and send it via USB to your computer. And likewise, you have to install the driver for your audio interface and also send the output into your audio interface and listen to what's happening in your computer through your headphones.
Now there's no need to toggle between the microphone and the drums within the Zoom client. All you need to do is to select your audio interface for both options, and when you're done talking, just turn off the microphone and start drumming.
So there you have it. Those are 3 ways to improve the sound quality of your online lessons through video conferencing apps such as Zoom. Feel free to name your favorite method in the comments below, and also let me know if you have any better suggestions. See ya!